this before. I don't know if we did it this year. Maybe definitely did it one day in geometry and maybe one day last year. I don't remember. But equations for circles. If I just say like x squared plus y squared equals 1, this would give me an equation for a circle. Some solutions would be like 1, 0, because if I plug in 1 and 0, 1 squared plus 0 squared is 1. Can you guys give me another solution for this?
2 minus 1. Or 0.
Negative 1 squared is still positive 1, right? What else could we plug in for x and y and get a 1 here?
And say it, Sam.
You should. You.
Be
I
brave.
got it wrong.
I don't want to be the one that says
Okay,
it.
0, 1. 0 squared plus 1.
Could've been a hero switch.
Anything else?
I want to take a chance like
There you go. Negative 1, 0, because negative 1 squared is also 1. 0, negative 1. Okay, and if I graph these, it's these 4. The other points are kind of random and weird. It's like weird square root answers. But anyways, what it ends up making is a circle. Circle.
Sweet.
You guys remember this stuff? Maybe?
I have to fight to not say the joke.
Shut up.
Be strong, Sam.
Still can't believe it.
So, if I did this one, what would be a solution? Can you guys think of one solution for that?
0, 3.
Okay, 3, 0, 0, 3. All right, so all the 3s. Okay, so what is the radius of this circle that I just drew?
3.
3. So how is the radius related to that number?
It's the square root of it.
Right. Or you could say the radius squared equals that number. Yeah, but the square root of this number gives us the radius. Square root of 1 is 1, so that doesn't really help. But square root of 9 is 3. 3 is the radius. What is the center of this circle? Well, 0, 0. How do we change that? So based on stuff we've done in the past, so instead of just x squared plus y squared, I'll put this. What do you guys think this minus 2 will do to the graph? Move it right 2, exactly. Now, this might fool you. What do you think the plus 1 over here is going to do to the graph? Down 1, right. When it's directly on the y, which it's not usually, it does the opposite. So this is right 2. We've seen stuff like this before, so that's why I thought you guys might know it, and you did. Some of you did. And this one, when it's directly on the y, it actually does the opposite. So it does move down 1. So what you would do is move, if you had to graph it, I didn't see any graphs on this one.
Doesn't say
Yeah. It just says talk about the center and the radius. So you guys are lucky. Anyway, right 2, down 1, and the radius is 3. So if you had to graph it, I would just like make you go 3 out from the center there. And then draw the circle. Usually, they like to a lot of times put one of these on the ACT. If you know how to do it, it's pretty easy. Easy peasy. Got it? Right 2, down 1, radius is 3. Okay. So, or you could say right 2, down 1, 2, negative 1 is the center of the graph. And the radius is 3. This is what they're going to have us do. Okay. Number 1. Write an equation for the circle. Okay, they say the center is at 4, 3. And the radius is 2. So in other words, the circle is moved right 4 and up 3. How do I move the circle right 4? Right, x minus 4 squared. How do I move it
Y minus.
up 3? Yeah, so notice we're just doing the opposites. If it's a positive 4, we did a minus 4. If it's a positive 3, we did a minus 3. Okay, there's always a square on these. And what's that going to equal out here?
4.
Right. If the radius is 2, out here we're going to put 2 squared.
Couldn't you also, like, for the y, couldn't you also, like, put it outside and then let it still look the same?
Huh?
Like, outside of the parentheses?
No. It would not be the same. Right now this is worth like y squared minus 6y plus 9. It's a big mess, but anyways, if we moved it outside, it would change the equation. Numero trace. -4, -9, 3. Right, so it's a -4, so I'm going to put x plus 4 squared. Okay, there's always a plus between the parentheses, and then it's a -9. So I'm going to put y plus 9 squared. And that equals 3 squared, which is 9. Center is at 6, 0. So how do I move it right 6? X minus 6. Okay, how do I move it up 0?
Just put y squared.
Yeah, you could put y minus 0, but that's just y squared. Put anything else. Shouldn't float in the air right in front of my face. Alright, what are we going to put out here? If the radius is square root of 15, right, this squared is just 15. The square root goes away. Now we're getting a mess. All right, what?
We have to do the distance formula for the next one.
Great, so. All right, the center is at 2, 3. So that part is normal. Center's at 2, 3. But it doesn't tell us the radius. It does tell us that the circle goes through 5, 6, though. So how could we find the radius?
The distance.
Right. The radius would be the distance between the center and a point on the circle. So how do we find the distance between 2 points on a graph?
Distance formula.
Distance formula. So, you guys remember this? X minus x squared plus y minus y squared. Square root of all that. So, 5 minus 2 squared plus 6 minus 3. Does the order of the x's and y's matter? No, not really. If you subtract in the opposite order, you get a negative, but when you square negative, it becomes positive again. So this would be 3 squared, which is 9. 3 squared is 9. So altogether, it's the square root of 18. Now, we could simplify that, but I'm not going to. Square root of 18 is like 9 times 2, so it's like 3 square root of 2. But that's not really our answer, final answer, so we don't really need to change it. Okay, anyways, we need a equation. So the first part's normal. We need to move the graph right 2 and up 3. So x minus 2 and y minus 3. Okay, and then what goes out here? 18. The square root of 18 squared. So you don't really want to simplify the square root. Your calculator might simplify it. But anyway, you'd have to either way, you have to square what your radius is to get that number. Center is at 5, -4, and the circle is tangent to the x-axis. We might need a picture for this one.
Does that mean it's touching?
No, it is touch. It just touches at one point is what it is. Okay, I'm going to draw this. So the center is at 5, -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's tangent to the x-axis. That means it's barely going to touch the x-axis. Now, if it's going to hit the x-axis, and this is the center of the circle, where would it have to hit it at? Straight up. Okay, because the point farthest up will be the top of the circle, which would be directly above the center, right? So if it only hits the x-axis at one point, that's what tangent means, it will be right there at 5, 0, because this is 5, -4 right here, the center. Okay, anyway, I could draw that. I don't really need to, but pretty. Anyway, we can use these 2 points to find the radius. And actually, we don't even need the distance formula. How far is it from there to there? 4. Distance, it can't really be negative. So the radius is 4.
That means
So 5 to the right, x minus 5 squared. 4 down, y plus 4 squared equals the radius squared. 16. Okay, number 11. The circle is tangent to the x-axis at 4, 0 and has y-intercepts -2, -8. Okay. So that's going to be way down. Did I make it low enough? Friendly. So it goes through 4, 0. And that's a tangent point. And y-intercepts -2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and -8. Alright. How do I find the center is kind of the question. Well, we just talked about it. If it's tangent to the x-axis here at 4, 0, what do I know about the center? It's going to be directly below that somewhere. Now, how far below that is it going to be? Well, because circles are symmetrical. Oh boy. You cannot draw. It's going to have to be halfway between these two. Because this was, anyways. So what's halfway between -2 and -8? That'd be -5. So the center is at 4, -5. trying to figure out if I can explain why it's at -5 better. I don't know if I can. Well, you think of it, it's got to be like equidistant from those 2 points. So it's kind of like halfway between them.
Like on the next
The y value would be halfway between them. I don't know. Okay. All right, so the equation centers here. X minus 4 squared plus y plus 5 squared equals, oh, what's the radius?
1,
Well,
2, 3, 4,
5, yeah, from here to here is just 5 up. So 5 squared is 25. What are we doing? 13. All right. X squared plus y squared. We're at first. Alright, this is gonna be a bit of a pain. I'm out of room too. I need it. Darn it. I don't suppose it's all connected. It's not. What do you? Okay, whatever. Darn it. Yeah, let me see. I don't know if it'll work. Let's see if it works. Will it let me? Group it. Lock it.
lock in.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
I think I should know that by now.
He's locked in.
So locked in.
All right. So what I'm gonna do, gosh, it's a mess. I might regret this.
I remember.
That's number 12.
I'm gonna kind of rearrange it. I'm gonna put my y's together and leave some space. And I'm gonna move the 16 to the right side. So I'm just gonna subtract 16. Put it over there. We're trying to make it look like a circle. That's what we're doing. I might just do one of these. This is already hurting me. All right. The process is called completing the square. I have not done a lot of this with you guys. So you take this number, divide it by 2, and square it. So what's negative 2
It'll be 1.
divided by 2, and then square it? Yeah, negative 1 squared is positive 1. This will always come out positive because we're squaring a number. Okay, but if you add 1 to the left side, to keep it balanced, you have to add 1 to the right side. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the y's. Negative 8, doesn't really matter if it's negative in this case. So it's 8 divided by 2 squared. Okay, if I add 16 to the left side, I have to add 16 to the right side.
Does that get rid of the original negative 2x? Or does it?
Okay, so the reason we chose these numbers is because now this is a perfect square. Factors perfectly. What times what equals 1 adds up to negative 2.
X minus 1.
Negative 1. Minus 1, minus 1. It's like x minus 1, x minus 1.
Bless you. And then the other side.
Okay, so it's starting to look more like a circle, like standard circle notation. So the other one, what multiplies into 16, that also adds up to negative 8. what times what is 16?
4.
-4. -4, -4. It's always gonna be like this number that I divide by 2, like -8 divided by 2 is -4. Anyways, so it factors perfectly to y minus 4 squared. And over here on the right side, we have negative 16 plus 16 plus 1 is 1. So that's, now we got something we can use. So they wanted the center and the radius. So the center is at 1, 4. Remember, it's the opposite of these. And the radius, how do we find the radius? Square root, right. We're no longer squaring, we're going backwards to find the radius. The radius squared equals this. So the square root of this equals the radius. Square root of 1 is 1. So that is the actual.
We should stop there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, yeah, I'll stop there. We got enough challenge in that middle section, probably is challenging enough.
So do we need to do 14 or no?
Yeah, 14.